Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Siege of Ironforge is back, and in this video I'm going to show you a full run through Siege of Ironforge. I spent quite a lot of time testing it. I already had 2 sets of comps for all the bosses. All of those old comps that I had from last time are still completely fine. You can complete the siege with those. But I wanted to keep testing, trying to find better ways to farm XP on this one, and also try to find more alternatives for the heroic ones. So I actually used multiple accounts. So with this account I used Sylvanas on Thiefcatchers, but Sylvanas is not the best XP farming for Thiefcatchers. Actually Thrall is the best for XP farming Thiefcatchers. I have footage of both of those. Then I did Cenarius on Mekkatorque. If you wanted to do some kind of XP farming Mekkatorque, you probably don't, then I think Ragnaros would be good, but I want to use Ragnaros on the heroic one, so I didn't use it here. And then Magni. I actually think Sylvanas is the best for XP farming on Magni. I have footage with both Sylvanas and Thalnos on Magni. I thought maybe I could outdo Sylvanas with Thalnos, but I couldn't really. So Sylvanas was the one for that one. Then Heroic Thiefcatchers. I also did Heroic Thiefcatchers with Thrall. Although I do recommend using Thrall on regular Thiefcatchers for XP farming. Thrall doesn't get all the advantages versus the heroic one, because while Thrall can shoot the minis in stealth, then minis in stealth are like prowlers and stuff, which is just going to charge at Thrall anyway. So the Cairne build that I had last time is actually really good for heroic Thiefcatchers still. Then heroic Gelbin Mekkatorque. I did it with Ragnaros this time. The Arthas comp that I had still works just fine. No worries about that whatsoever. And then I did Magni with Arthas. Although for Magni I think the Sneed comp that I had last time is still the best one. So quite a bit of leeway on what leaders to use and what bosses. All the comps that I have introduced previously still work fine. And right now if you want to XP farm, Thrall on Thiefcatchers followed by Sylvanas on Magni would be the ideal options pretty much. But let's go check out some footage of all the bosses, some of them with multiple leaders in action. And first up, let's look at what I think is currently the best way to farm XP in Ironforge. Ironforge is not a very good place to farm XP, but Thrall in Thiefcatchers. Because Thrall can detect. Thrall can detect those minis in stealth, which means that using Thrall in your army, having it alongside your army, means that you will have an easier time handling all of those stealth minis, and that's just going to help you. You don't need to die battlings here. And not needing to die battlings means that you will also have space to include Ancient of War to avoid some of those polymorphs. So pushing the right side, turning the arrow straight, so we're going straight up the right side. Also trying to get the Ancient of War out there. And you're kind of hoping that your partner will also either defend or, well, neither of us wanted to defend this time, and that almost cost us the base. But hey, it's okay. Base is alive, so that's fine, and Ancient of War is taking all of the polymorphs. I'm ready with the cheat death. Once the second phase change arrives, then it's going to be time to cheat death. So boom boom, we keep fighting for a while, and now it's cheat death time, so we don't die to the mines, and we get to continue fighting, and then the boss goes down. So that's Thrall farming some XP. The main alternative I had in mind for XP farming Thiefcatchers was Sylvanas, specifically the Fury Sylvanas, because then of course you get more damage from the Swole Troll, you get more damage from the Plague Farmer. But yeah, it's trickier. It's definitely trickier to do it with this, because I couldn't find a way to easily include Ancient of War in this, which means that sometimes you end up getting polymorphed, and that introduces also more variance. Because with Thrall build, you can quite reliably take the tower, you play the Ancient of War on the other side. With this build, well, you have a lot of firepower, obviously, because your minis now have Fury, so they're going to hit a lot. But then you don't have the stealth detection, so I need the die battlings here, and die battlings just right on time before the stealth Griffin Riders arrive, like that. Sometimes you get polymorphed right there, and then there's a risk of explosion. So There are some risks involved with this. And then you get these polymorphs sometimes which delay you a little bit. Anyway, now we're fighting and waiting for the next phase change. When that phase change happens, we do a cheat death so we don't die to the mines. Not die to the mines like that. Another polymorph, so again delaying the victory by a little bit. But soon it will arrive and there it is. Boom. But I think Thrall is more consistent than this. Then normal Mekkatorque. I don't really like trying to XP farm normal Mekkatorque. It's just not so easy to defeat quickly enough. I might give Ragnaros a try at some point. Now this time I already used my Ragnaros, so... But let's see. Anyway, doing this with Cenarius. Cenarius is a wonderful leader for this one. So Cenarius getting all those roots definitely helps out. Now sadly some living bombs going off. But yeah, living bombs do happen. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes with this one. And I'm partnered with an Arthas. Arthas is taking the left side now. I'm taking the right side. Things look quite alright now. I managed to get the Plague Farmer being my main damage dealer. So you kind of want to attack both sides. In general, in Mekkatorque and in Magni, I would try to play my minis on the different side than my partner plays theirs. Just so that you have stuff spread out and not too vulnerable to a living bomb. Like obviously, if your partner has no anti-air and you see some harpies coming, then yeah, sure, you can drop a witch doctor out there so that you will help them out a little bit. Little things like that. But in the main, especially when you think about the tanks, when you think about the big minis, you want your big minis to be on the other side compared to your partners. So that they don't get in each other's way and they don't lure everything into a single living bomb. Oh, here we go, here we go. Now there's a bit of an assault coming through mid. I'm wondering if I should do something about it. I try to get a little bit of support there with the Quillbore. And I blow up one of those big bombs. The bombs and the Robognomes, they all explode when you drop something right on top of them. So unbound minis are really sweet. You can also explode them by playing a regular mini on top of them when they're in a deployed zone. But especially the big bombs have such a big explosion radius that if you wait until you can drop a regular mini on top of them, then well, yeah, that tower is just going to go down. Oh, here, big bomb. Boom. I dropped Dark Eye Miner on that. And it is gone. So, we are at the... nearly at the end. Just sending Cenarius, sending Plague Farmers, getting some healing. One side from another. My partner's sending a lot of stuff from the middle now. Also fine. Just try to space it out so that not everything gets caught in the same living bomb. This looks really good right now. No phase change, but ultimately that will not matter too much. I drop a couple of unbounds there, take away some of the bombs, and Mekkatorque goes down. Then normal Magni. If I wanted to do some XP farming on normal Magni, then this is the arm that I would do it with. So I'm using Sylvanas and I'm using Ancient of War. I couldn't fit in the Ancient of War in the Sylvanas army efficiently anyway when it was against Thiefcatchers, but I can when it's against Magni. However, I do prefer Thiefcatchers also because, like, kind of need some support from your partner here, Magni. You would want to get rid of that Firelord in the middle, and I can't afford to put in... I could do it with Execute plus Worgen, but I can't afford to put in both of those into my deck. I don't have enough space. I just run out of space. So then if I only have Execute, then I have to cycle through my deck so that I can do 2 Executes on it if my partner does not want to hurt the Firelord. So here we go. I managed to find a second Execute. I also managed to get living bombed out there before I was able to get the Ancient of War out, so that was a bit of a bummer. But now, as long as that Ancient is alive, then my army cannot be killed with a living bomb, because obviously the Ancient will pull any living bombs to it, and that means that now we're going to go. My partner luckily is now attacking that side, so the Ancient is still alive. Now it did die. Now I'm vulnerable to a living bomb again. I managed to get an Ancient out there. No bomb yet. Alright, and then just play more stuff. As long as I can, I just want to play more stuff. And this is Furious Sylvanas, so I have all that additional damage. Yeah, the Fire Lord is shooting me in the flank, but let's go. As long as we can keep some poison stacks on that Magni. Magni just goes down. Then we have moved on to Heroic Thiefcatchers, and I wanted to see how good Thrall is against the Heroic Thiefcatchers, but obviously, in hindsight, I want to use Thrall on the normal Thiefcatchers for XP farming. I don't really want to do it here. I think the Cairne build that I had last time, that's just completely fine here. I was trying to support a little bit against those hobbies, although they did play the Huntress, so that wasn't so necessary. Again, trying to go from multiple angles is useful. Heroic cannot be ended quite as quickly as normal, because there's stuff coming at you. Because whenever one of the mini-bosses dies, whenever there's a phase change, stuff will appear. And we're actually in a bit of a pickle here, because we have strong push going on both sides. And that means that these mini-bosses are going to die close together, which means 2 sets of stealth things. And here they come. Okay. Well, first it wasn't that bad, but the second. Now we're in a bit of a pickle here in the middle. Yep, we definitely need some power from the Pyromancer. Pyromancer actually did surprisingly well there, so that was all good. Not going too strong on the left side either. On the right side, I mean. Left side was fine. Arthas just showcasing its power. I'll try to get Thrall out there. Should have positioned it a little bit further away so it would have shot the Griffin Riders faster. But overall it does look like we're starting to stabilize here. And even though that's an explosive sheep, well, if you're shooting at a sheeped Molten Giant, it's just not going to help you very much. Obviously, I could also use Swole Troll. Swole Troll could not be polymorphed, it's immune to polymorph. But Molten Giant does have a lot more health. And here I just wanted that full tanking power. I wanted that armored tanking power. We're sending the miner towards the gold vein. It needs to get a little bit closer so it figures it out. And here we go. With more Molten Giants. And once the tank is gone, then Molten Giant will kill all the rest quite easily. So that's all good. Now, the minis all have stealth because the second mini-boss died. But it should be okay. Phase change. Now there is an army of bandits coming in. There was the Maiev in the middle, but Arthas was in the middle, so Arthas was able to handle the Maiev. And overall it's going quite alright. Arthas is pushing in. Thrall is doing some work. Managed to get into that explosion thing. Just somewhat unpleasant. Nothing too bad. That mining though. Oh well, I didn't have 3 gold. 2 gold anyway. That wasn't great. Alright, just a little bit more. Should point the arrow up. I didn't remember to do that. Should have done that and sent them to attack the boss from behind. That would have been better. Another phase change, more mines. Another set of, what is it, 22, 26, I can't remember, but mini bandits. And also some goblin sappers. And the Maiev in the middle. This time Maiev was pyromanced. And so were the sappers. Good pyromancer. Excellent work. Now there's one mine right in front of the gold node, so I cannot mine on the right. I also have some worries about the middle. A little bit more and we should be able to do this. We can just get this middle thing under control. Here's, by the way, the Searing Totem. Can you see how weak it is? Man, I really don't like the Searing Totem. By far my least favorite of Thrall totems. Obviously you could play with the Feral Spirit, you could have the wolves. That will be completely fine. I figured that it's a pretty big map, so I will often have multiple Thralls, and then I could have multiple totems, and then they could buff my army and everybody, so that it would be useful. Waiting for the range units to commit. Range units committed against the tower. Then I sent in the battlings. And then the battlings did a great job. Good job, battlings. Good job. No, we should really need to stop them from mining on the left. No, they're going to get the full mine. Ouch. That one hurt. Either way. No, not the Arthas on that side too. Oh dear, oh dear. Now that's not great. Having everything there. But it should be fine in the end. Alright, we lived to overtime. Now that we managed to make it to overtime, that means that now the income should come in and help. I'm just trying to see where is the boss. And the boss is going to Shadow Step if there are 4 melee minis around it. So that's why Arthas isn't that great here, because Arthas plus the Footman, that's already 3 of the melee minis. So then you're just going to cause unwanted Shadow Steps. Although this time not, because Arthas just went ahead and died. And so did everybody else. Well, happens sometimes, you know. Alright, another Arthas. And there's Shadow Step. This time Shadow Step didn't take it too far, luckily, because it could have taken it across the map too. Just pushing at this point. It's going to be over soon. We got the boss in a really good spot, but Arthas again causing the Shadow Step, so I really do dislike Arthas in this one, because you're just making the boss run away. But we got it in the end anyway. Then I'm going to show you 2 slightly different Ragnaros builds for heroic Mekkatorque. This one is, in some ways, this is my favorite because this is the fastest kill. But this also requires the most from your partner, so I find that I have a much higher win rate in the open queue playing with Grunts instead of Giants. That's the difference between 2 builds. So this is the Giants build. And the idea with Giants build, I idea with Ragnaros overall against Mekkatorque. So I don't have a Griffin Rider in this army, because Ragnaros is not here to grow. Ragnaros is here to give damage reflect to your armored minis, especially here, that multi-giant. Also, I happen to be partnered with Arthas here, so Arthas and the Footman also armored. So the Ragnaros also does help defend your base a little bit, but the main thing is that it gives that damage reflect on your armored minis, and that means that you're just going to deal so much damage. Your armored minis, especially when you have big armored minis like the Giant or like Grunts, they are just going to deal so much damage back to whatever's trying to attack them that everything is just going to die. And like, did you see the Griffin Rider there? Was attacking Arthas and the Footman, and then it died. Also here I'm using Deep Breath. I typically don't like using Deep Breath in any guides, because obviously most people don't have a Deep Breath. You could use Living Bomb. Living Bomb is still perfectly valid here. And then you just... Well, it's always a matter of do you really need to use a spell for which train? Because like you can see this train, for example, here. They're just taking so much damage from plague farmers and the giants and everything, and they're not making it to their targets anyway. And look at the damage effect. Look at the damage effect. The gnomes, they killed themselves on the giant. And the giant is still completely fine. So, giant is the big tank. But here is the thing. There's that one phase change just happened when it suits up, when Mekkatorque suits up and it kills all the minis in the immediate vicinity. So you're going to lose a giant there. And in order for this to work, you really need to get another giant very quickly out there. And once you get another giant out there really quickly, then you're just going to... I mean, Mekkatorque is almost going to kill itself fighting against the giant. That's kind of the stuff that you're doing here. But it requires that your partner is also taking very well care of their own side, because you're very low on gold. You will have spent almost all of your gold, giants are expensive, and the support is expensive. But when it works, it looks like this, and it's the fastest way to kill Mekkatorque heroic. But a more consistent way, especially for the open queue, is to use grunts. I mean, if you have a partner, then obviously you can just go with giants, because your partner will know how to play, and then it's going to be totally fine. But grunts are more consistent. Grunts have a lot of health. They also have armor. They're sweet when they have guard duty, that is. Obviously, guard duty means that you need to try to place them so that they will get activated. And they only have the damage reflection when Ragnaros is up. When Ragnaros is on the board, when it's covering your base. So, grunts don't live quite as long, which means that they don't push all the phases quite as quickly as a Molten Giant does. There's going to be just a lot more board fighting going on with the grunts. But that means that you will have better board control compared to a giant build. You will be able to influence more areas of the board because you can split. Like here you can see how I split those grunts. Even with the guard duty grunts you can still split them. So you will be able to do more things to help your partner than you can with the more all-in giant push. But still, what Ragnaros is doing is still the exact same. Ragnaros is here. Of course, it gives a little bit of extra health for the base, but Ragnaros is here for that damage reflection. And that damage reflection then means that so many Robo-Gnomes are just going to kill themselves, which is beautiful. We have some big bombs coming. Going in with some grunts. Sadly, we don't control the middle stone. If we controlled the medium stone, I could play a regular mini on top of that bomb and it would cause it to explode. When a bomb is killed by shooting at it, it does not explode. So that's the difference. And if I was here to... Like, if I drop a regular mini right next to a tower on top of a bomb, then the bomb is going to explode and it's still going to kill the tower. So it just doesn't help us much. I'm trying to drop the grunts, but I dropped them a little far. Well, they did get activated eventually. I suppose that's fine. Alright. Now, I was watching there, do I need to drop something? Then doing some deep breathing here again. Could of course do Living Bomb as well. Because now there's some trains coming, and here comes the Meeting Stone Killer. It cannot be stopped, it cannot be destroyed. The Meeting Stone is always going to go down. Nothing you can do about it. Oof, Robo-Gnomes. But now we managed to get some grunts out there, and look at the Robo-Gnomes and look at the Hunters just killing themselves. Because that is the real power that Ragnaros brings to the Mekkatorque fight. That damage reflection. Suitable armored tanks. Damage reflection. Oh boy. Things are just going to start blowing up. Alright. Some living bombing from my partner as well, so everything is going really smoothly. And Ragnaros can take a hit. So Ragnaros defends and Mekkatorque goes down. And finally, heroic Magni Bronzebeard. I still think the Sneed build is the best one for this. I should build a Dragiset build actually. Here I'm doing it with Dragiset, but I am playing Arthas. So the plan here is that you want to go up different lane than your partner. So hopefully your partner, yes, my partner goes, now goes right when I went left. I see that they don't have, well now they play Pyromancer. So here I was like thinking, okay, if those Harpies are going to get in close and they don't play Anti-Air, I'm going to play the Witch Doctor on their side, take out the Harpies. And our partner is using Execute. The heroic Firelord. I actually spent quite a lot of time trying to figure out ways to take out the heroic Firelord. But I mean, almost 2,500 health, more than 200 DPS, ranged, AoE, range 14, so it outranges meat wagons. Like, nothing survives that. It's just really crazy. More than 200 DPS against resistant, I should say, because against non-resistant it's actually more, it's like 400 and something. So, yeah. You just can't keep anything alive against it. That's the problem. You kind of have to take it out. Execute is the main way. If you have Worgen, then if it's shooting at something else, and that something else has enough health to survive a couple of hits, then a Worgen can come in and take it down. But once it turns towards the Worgen and hits the Worgen, and the Worgen is gone. But I have wanted to find other better ways. Well, not better ways, I mean it's a really super strong way to take it out, but other viable ways to take it out, but I just can't. So, grabbing a chest there, I mean free chest, let's take it. Not leave it for the enemy. Here I'm a little wondering, I want that phase change to happen, and then when the phase change happens I want to play stuff. But we're just not getting that phase change here. Not so close, but we're just not getting it. Now I maybe committed a little bit too much there though. Should have played like just a couple of minis. Yeah, because when the phase change happens, all the dwarf cards, all the Magni cards coming from the sides, you want to fight against them, and now we got the phase change. So you want to have a bunch of gold for this change. So then dropping stuff on both sides rapidly so that we get to keep some towers, especially important with the next phase change, because after that Magni is going to start throwing the hammers at you, and those hammers are going to come in every 9 seconds to the closest tower or base that you control. So if you have no towers, then they're going to come at your barracks, and they're 1000 damage a pop, so what barrack can take 4 hits, something like that. Maybe a little bit more because it's +2 levels here. But yeah, alright, there's the... I should kill the... Yes, I should kill that one. Now it's down, that's nice. Need to mine. Let's go mine a little bit. And I want to take the chest too, because when the phase change comes, if I haven't taken the chest, then some of the dwarves will take that path if they get the top towers, then they'll just take the chest and they'll get even more gold for Magni. And I don't want that to happen. Just trying to send stuff going up both sides, avoiding getting them into a living bomb, so that, I mean, obviously living bombs can happen, but just trying to position them so that not too many would go into the same living bomb. That was probably a bit too far back. I should have killed the Firelord, I think. What I was thinking there was that, okay, if we can just get this phase change, because if we get the phase change, then the Firelord doesn't matter, because we're not fighting right there then. We can kill it in a little while, once we stabilize at the back. But now this went a little bit poorly. Be it as it may. We have at least a tower on the left side. Now we have too much stuff on the left side though, because we have the Arthas and we have Dragiset on the left side. And the result is a living bomb there, but now we managed to get a tower on the right side. That's good, because there's going to be some hammers. It takes 2 hammers to kill a tower. So you can take towers fast enough, then I really want to get rid of the cobalt miner. Just not giving them gold, if I can avoid it. Alright, there's Dragisats on both sides. There's Arthas here. Dropping my execute out there. Trying to cycle a little bit. So you can see those hammers. They just keep coming. But with enough Dragisats, with enough Arthas, I'm still doing fine. I need to send something up the left side, because the left side died. And that's looking good. Tower didn't have enough time to build, so one hammer was enough to take it down. Dropping an execute there, getting some bloodlust on the mini stuff, hitting Magni, and phew, made it. Magni goes down. So that was Siege of Ironforge, the full run. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.